Hello everyone and welcome back to Spearhead Cast with me, Matt. Looks like we have someone AFK, hopefully not. Anyway, let's go through the players here, shall we? On the Allied side, we have Puss and Ply playing as the British Commonwealth without a commander yet. We have Q playing as the United States of America without a commander. And we have BH13 playing as Armor Company for the United States of America. That's gonna be good. Let's see what happens with that, shall we? On the Axis side, we have Commando Section as Panzer Tactics for the Mthis, and he's pushed very far up. Alright. We have Stockholm, who is actually the main developer of the Spearhead 2 mod, so nice to see him in action as the Mthis without a commander yet. We have Smokey as Ostdivision for the Wehrmacht. That's gonna be fascinating. We have a big Western Front fight here. I don't think Commando Section is gonna do too well of having pushed its Storm Pioneers that far up. Especially against the British here. They're threatening him quite well from behind cover here. And while we have US and SS troops fighting across the fields here. The fields of Wien Kendong, I think this one is called. It's a vanilla map. And while we have the US going to face the Ostdivision up here. Oh, Q is running out in the open here. That's not going to work well. He did throw the pineapple off, but that might be a wasted. Oh, they're gonna get out of there. So the Brits are gonna be able to push up now. He actually lost the Storm Pioneers. Oh, that's a very big loss early on. But he's getting hit the UFN to replace them. We have some Volks Grenadiers here and some actual Grenadiers. Fighting for the Wehrmacht, not using Osttruppen. Just using normal troops for now. Ostdivision is probably one of the most defensive Axis commanders, so it might be why he decided to go for that. He might be planning to play for the long game. Oh, I think the British have gone for tank. Yeah, the Royal Tank Regiment has been called in. We are fighting, we're seeing the Desert Rats. The 7th Armored Division. We have a Jeep coming out here for the Americans, laying down vertical fire on the Waffen-SS troops here. Looks like a big push here from the Wehrmacht troops. Using a lot of rifles here. Pioneers in conjunction with the Volksgrenadiers and Pioneers is a lot of fire, but that's a hot flash on the Americans. Oh! That's a grenade. The Americans have the advantage that their grenades are a lot more powerful, but they cannot be thrown as far. Oh, the Germans might get encircled here. We're going to with a Brandflasche. Oh, but the M1 Garand is just showing them metal here. And that's a normal Stickhandgranate, I think. But the Americans kind of wanted engagement. Osttruppen are coming in to replace them alongside some Grenadiers. The Hitler U for digging in around the field points. MT-34 coming up to support them. Still no commander choice from Stockholm. And still no command choice from Q either. But we have British Royal Tank and American Armored. That's going to be a lot of armored vehicles later on. Yeah, Rifleman Squad is dead, mowed down by an MT-34. But here we have some Osttruppen. Osttruppen were generally not always Germans. There's quite a lot of Russians and other Eastern Europeans in them, but mostly they were recruited, as I understand, from non-ethnic Germans. So Germans from other parts of Europe, like, say, Czechoslovakia or Western Poland, stuff like that. Most of them did not really have the best reputation as fighters, because many of them were not really that interested in fighting for the Nazis for good reason. I also believe most of them actually saw action on the Eastern Front, not against the Allies. Because the Allies on the Western Front, I'd imagine they'd desert a lot more than they actually did in real life. They actually deserted a lot in real life. Looks like the Germans are still keeping this area kind of covered, thanks to the Kubelwagen and the Sturm Grenadiers. Germans also control this fuel here. Looks like the Osttruppen are being pushed up to try and take the point. They might actually get it here.
We have been assigned fresh Panzer Grenadiers.
So the Americans are gonna have to try and get this fuel back. Oh, the Grenadiers have been armed with a PTRS. So that's essentially an anti-tank rifle the Germans have stolen from the Russians. Ah, we also have a very unique regiment here, the 25th Panzer Grenadiers. One of the better units that Ost Division actually gets access to. It's a very unique Panzer Grenadier regiment too, or division. Because they were the only Panzer Grenadier division in the entire German army to be fully motorized and fully mechanized. No other Panzer Grenadier division actually were able to get enough transports that were trucks or half-tracks for all their troops. So these guys were really mobile. They're also pretty well equipped. Oh, Bren carrier with a flamethrower, a wasp here. Ooh, that's lethal. The little commanders in the center here. Ah, yes, so instead of an Opel Blitz, he has a hidden reinforce point. Very smart.
Ready to roll.
Oh, that's not good. They might have to get the Panzerfaust stuff though. And they did.
Now in operation. Carrier ready to move.
Looks like a lieutenant has been called in. For the British Royal Tank arriving in a Bren carrier. Americans have to dig in now because the Ost Division has taken control of this farm. And they're probably not going to give it up easy. Panzer is going to hold the road here. Already been armed with an LMG-42. They might be armed with STGs with scopes afterwards. Or Panzerschreck, who knows? And while the SS is still trying to hold center here. Got a Bren carrier becoming a wasp, but it might just get Panzerfausted. The Hitler Youth here don't have Panzerfaust. They have Panzerknackers, which means they would have to run all the way up to the vehicle and throw the thing on him. So the Americans using the Rex here of the Stukas to push up. At this range, the Americans will definitely do a lot better. Thanks to the sheer amount of semi-auto weaponry. The SS have dug in heavily around here, though, already, and setting up their forward field headquarters here. And that is a very risky maneuver, but could work. Oh, the Wasp is hitting them though.
Universal carrier ready for the off.
The Wasp is proven to be very lethal.
Loaded up and
Yeah, aiming for the machine gun position too.
enemy Panzer.
If we run into armor, look for row houses.
Looks like the Wehrmacht Ost Division is still set up here. They might intend to set up a forward base up here in the future. They could likely afford to. Volksgrenadiers have been armed with MP40s. Osttruppen are being used to construct defenses along the front line. Actually, a job they were sometimes assigned to, because they could not really always be trusted with frontline combat. We're just setting up a Vickers test here. Not sure about the tree though, it might be a shot block, I don't know. The fighting position is enabled. Ah! Stoklomovi has gone for Jaeger Division. Or Jaeger Tactics. A really unique SS commander that used to be very sneaky back in the day. It's still technically sneaky if you know what you're doing, but it's got a little bit of everything and it's very elite. Oh, flag half-track coming in. Stuart's coming in for BH-18 by the looks of it. Try and push to the north. Lots of mortars bombing though. Ah, thanks to the lieutenant, I see. Most of them are being diverted.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Ah, he's going to arm the Panzer Grenadiers with scopes, STGs. Recon run coming in for the US. Panzer Grenadiers are being relocated too. They're throwing a fragmentation grenade.
The bunker has been improved with an MG-42.
Germans might not be able to hold this position for too long. The Americans are being very aggressive here. Looks like the British are trying to push up again. Looks like they declude a half track. They're trying to steal the half track. Oh my god, they might actually steal it. Those cheeky desert rats. It's actually able to call it artillery because it was a command half track. Oh god.
Contact! It's a bit touch and go!
The Germans still hold the fuel down there though. Looks like the battlefield is very evenly split apart from the Americans holding the central field here. Still no commander from Q. He's biding his time. Puma has arrived. Ah, but the 57mm took care of the Puma. It's not looking too good for stock here. Panzer F1 has arrived for the Wehrmacht. Forward base is set up here, but it's not going to last for long, I think, if the Americans get close to it. But they might not be able to thanks to the Panzer Grenadiers. He has to be careful. That said, the F1 should be able to fight the Stuart. Artillery is coming in though. Another truck coming off with the SS yet.
Our forces increase.
So we've got a lot of firefights going on today. Good to see, but it looks like stock has taken a lot of losses. The Wehrmacht still refuse to give up this farm. Panzer Grenadiers are going to have to work in close conjunction with this Panzer F1. Großtruppen moving up here. Still not coming from Q either. Panzerschreck being prepared by the Sturm Pioneers, probably in anticipation of a tank. F1 immobilized, but it's firing a heat. Taking out just one Stuart. Panzer Grenadiers on the flank here. But F1 is lost.
We have lost a Panzer.
But the Panzer Grenadiers are armed with the LMG 42 and behind heavy cover here. They might actually be able to do a lot of damage if they can take out the MG somehow. Now they're being targeted though, I think. Mortar on him. No losses yet, but they might need to pull back. Because those Panzer Grenadiers are a very costly unit. Yeah, they're pulling out of that. Makes perfect sense. It looks like both Grenadiers are trying to flank in with MP40s.
Tech gun is ready for orders.
That's actually impressive. They did not take a single model loss, but they'll need to heal.
Relief infantry ready for reinforcement.
But the Volksgrenadiers did clear up the MG. A2 trying to push for the center now. And the Brits are threatening the SS position here of the Hitler Youth. Still no commander from Q, but he's doing pretty well without it. Artillery coming in the SS position. It's too clumped. Wasp is being used very efficiently here. MT-42 for the Wehrmacht. These Panzer Grenadiers definitely need some way to heal. command F1 here. That'll deal with the wasp.
Target destroyed.
But there is what's that thing called? Valentine? Yeah, Valentine.
Enemy bastards.
Which has a big enough gun to threaten a Panzer IV.
Sorry, chaps.
That was probably not worth it, but who am I to judge? The Wehrmacht is still staggeringly holding on here, but an A2 has arrived.
We have lost a squad.
The Wehrmacht is going to have to pull back from position, I think. It's too hard to hold. We have some 600 SS Fallschirmjäger coming in as pioneers, and they're being armed with Granatbüchses. Okay. I don't know enough about the SS Fallschirmjägers to really speak about them, unfortunately. Oh, MG42 is trying a very risky maneuver here. I like the combined operation, though, of the pack and the MG42. I'm not sure what the pack is doing. Oh yeah, this Sherman is being utilized really well here. But the pack got a penetrating shot through the smoke. Panzergrenadiers are being armed with a Panzerstrike, though. Granatbüchse will definitely help in this kind of environment with the long-range cover-to-cover fighting. Essentially serves as a grenade launcher. It's essentially an anti-tank rifle that's been converted to fire grenades and nothing else. Very fascinating weapon. And the Hitler Youth don't want to give up this fuel, but the Valentines might dissuade them. It's not looking good here. Artillery coming in the Wehrmacht position. Oh, that sounds heavy. Yeah, that's some heavy artillery. Oh, and the Panzergrenadiers are dead. Oh, that's gonna suck. That's a very expensive unit to replace. 300, yeah. And more artillery coming in on the German positions. Yes, this might have to pull back and set up a new defensive line. But the Wehrmacht still refuses to give up this farm.
Troops are good to go.
But the Brits are moving up now with their tanks. Oh, they're using white phosphorus, killing off a Storm Pioneer right there. And high explosive on that pack. The Brits are proving to be a very versatile force.
Ready for action.
And the Germans are running out of units. They're simply being cut down by the weight of American and British firepower. Oh boy, the Germans should start setting up trenches or anything around there. They need something to slow down the advance of the British. The artillery barrage is not high enough caliber to deal with the Sherman.
Our industry grows to support us.
And still no commander from Q either. We got some SS Fallschirmjägers coming in.
Fallschirmjäger on the field.
Now these guys can be exceptionally lethal, like the Fallschirmjägers Luftwaffe for Wehrmacht can get. Because these guys can be armed with the FT-42, which is an exceptionally potent weapon. Yeah, it looks like the Americans want to get rid of this somehow. After he has some demo charges. He needs to be careful, he's getting too close to... Yeah, he's in Panzerfaust range. But he is armored thanks to the dozer blade. Yeah, the Germans have to abandon that position. Wehrmacht is taking up growth for tanks. If they're lucky, they could turn this around. Double Panzerjägers here for the Mthis. They need to be careful where they move, though. Panzerjägers are good in aggressive maneuvers like this. They're meant to be used for as ambush troops generally, but it might not always be possible to do. Yeah, Panzer 4H coming out now here for Smokey. Try and buy the Germans some time. But the Royal Tank Regiment is just putting so much pressure on the Germans here. Looks like Jägers combined with the Wehrmacht is trying to push up here. But they're being cut down here in the center by the riflemen. Artillery going in on them. But the sheer amount of BARs and riflemen here is just proving too much. Sounds like an Ebelwerfer. Oh! They did close the pocket! Holy shit, that was a good move. They closed the pocket and BH-18's force up at the farm. That was an exceptionally risky move, but it might just have bought them some time.
Just got a report of an infantry unit being wiped out.
Exceptionally risky. But the southern German flank is breaking.
Light vehicle destroyed.
Replacements are being pushed out in haste. But the Panzer IV might be able to operate freely.
The enemy is attacking one of our forward buildings.
The Suga team is trying to get range though. But looks like the British Valentines are threatening. There's an F1 though. One Valentine down, good to see. But looks like Commando section has lost practically everything. In anger, I think he's trying to push up too hard here. But the Osttroppen Grenadiers and the Panzer IV H is going to be able to take a lot of ground back here. Thanks to the close to pocket maneuver that was issued. This might just have brought them some time.
Heavy armor has been lost.
I think Command Section needs to get some infantry out though. There's no infantry to cover the line here against the British. We're now getting Aussies in. No, not Aussies. These are New Zealanders. And they are arriving with a Churchill too, a veteran one. A Churchill A42. Ooh. Very powerful infantry support tank.
All out attacks. Air support standing by.
Probably one of the best examples of a heavy tank in the war. That's the Churchill right there. Germans are now using the 30 cal from the Americans. Trying to hold the top here at all costs.
Our soldiers are trained to advance rapidly.
Let's see what Commander 6 is doing. He's getting his trucks, but not enough infantry.
Half-track is in action. Standing by.
Q is still holding the center here without a commander. Double 76 Germans. They're going to try to overrun the Panzer IV H. And they got it.
Our Panzer forces have been reduced by one.
Crew, stand ready. Secure the vehicle. Location set. Begin conversion.
It does not look like the Germans are doing too hard here. Another Panzer 4H coming out. Oh, and it looks like Smokey might be aiming for a Panther, because, not Smokey, Stocklow. Ugh, my bad. Because, SS Jäger gets access to the Panther tank, which is probably one of the best tanks in the game under mod, in all honesty.
Regiment advises. Infantry ready to utilize breakthrough tactics.
The British are just standing back here. They could get pushed up, but obviously they don't know that the Germans don't have any defense. They're simply being cautious. That's probably also why they got the Churchill, because the Churchill is amazing at supporting infantry in a push generally. Yeah, pack coming up. They definitely know they need anti-tank equipment.
Ready for action.
The problem with that Churchill there is that it's armed with high explosive shells. So it's very good at breaking through infantry defense, but it sucks against other tanks. Like that Panzer 4H. Let's switch to AP shells. Wow! The Panzer 4 actually got the Churchill. Risky maneuver, but it paid off. And the British are calling a full retreat. Well, mostly a full retreat. Oh, they might have tried to aim for a closer pocket. But it didn't work out. Probably because of the range, he probably armed it with armor-piercing shells. Also the fact that if you, what's it called? Also the fact that Churchill is not that armored, especially that with Ryan, I think. Churchill's not generally the best against other tanks. What Commander section needs is infantry. You could get some Leibstandarte out or some stormtroopers. The Americans are pushing up now. They have EC8s. Oh, and it looks like that's obviously EC8s. Q has gone for mechanized, which is going to allow him to get a lot of good armor. We already have a command tank here. The British are pushing up again with their New Zealanders as well. But now we get some, stormtroopers coming out now. I'm actually, obviously stormtroopers get MP40s with your Panzer. Obviously, I was trying to figure out what they get. Well, they get the get MP40s.
Combat unit ready.
As you can see right there. So the Americans are trying to make a push here with their tanks. Mines have been prepared. Assault artillery, I think, coming in here. Looks like these German A2s have been armed with high explosive shells now, thanks to the Thunder Run ability. They should be able to overrun the German positions with this. Panther underway though. So if the Germans can keep that thing alive, the Panzerhauptquartier alive, they might be able to make a pushback somehow. Panthers are known to sometimes be able to cause miracles. Ooh, EC8 down.
Infantry group lost. Mobile command has been set.
Panther almost on the field. Germans are making a desperate move here to buy some time.
Panther ready for action.
Panther on the field here. Which might just be what they've waited for. Now it comes down to how the Germans utilize this Panther. Because there's a lot of 76 Germans about. But that does not matter to the Panther much. What the Allies need to do is somehow surround this thing and flank it. Because frontally, this thing is going to be nearly impossible in the fight. Oh, they're marking it. Oh, they jammed the turret! And commander wrecked out. But the Panther is still operational. They need to get this thing repaired though, quickly.
Prepare yourself!
Oh yeah, Panzer is actually armed with incendiary grenades, which is a neat little touch. Churchill crocodiles on the fields, and the Americans are gonna get Calliope to deal with the Panther. Calliope is a very good choice for dealing with it. Panther's operational though. Heavy artillery right there. The Americans need to find a way to get rid of the Panther though. It's going to be very unlikely for Stock to get another Panther though in this situation. Panzer IV coming out though. And a Stukas. Now that must have been costly to get. They probably don't even have the munitions to keep that thing firing. They might lose the command headquarters though. But the Panther is being a threat. As it should. But it looks like the crocodile is moving up into the German base. There's nothing here to threaten it. Wait, did the Panther die? Yes, the Calliope got the Panther. It's over for the SS and the Wehrmacht here. The Allies are pushing through into Germany still. Yeah, this Churchill's a lot more armored than the previous one.
We've lost a squad of infantry.
Yeah, it looks like it's over. Oh, just the crocodiles flaming everything. Oh boy. The fact they're not surrendering yet is surprising. Guess they want to stick it out to the end. But the Shermans are just pushing in en masse. And there we go. The German bases have been destroyed. That was a rumble in the Ruhr, alright. I'll see you all in the next one, everyone. Bye bye!